We're excited to be here to learn and discuss and celebrate the impact that's been made by your investments, specifically through the Twin Cities Rebuild for the Future Fund. Last summer, after the murder of George Floyd, there was outrage and civil unrest, and it resulted in significant property damage in cultural corridors where Black, Brown, and Indigenous people work and own businesses. To support the rebuilding efforts of these BIPOC-owned small businesses, United Way partnered with the St. Paul and Minnesota Foundation and also the Minneapolis Foundation to establish the Twin Cities Rebuild for the Future Fund. Together, we raised really an unbelievable amount. We raised more than $3.2 million, which was distributed to 11 community organizations working with businesses on the front lines to support the rebuilding efforts.
Thank you so much, John. Now I'd like to introduce you to our community partners who have been working tirelessly to support businesses who were affected by George Floyd's killing by Minneapolis police and the ensuing days of civil unrest that led many businesses damaged or completely destroyed. These 11 intermediary organizations have been responsible for the re-granting of your dollars to businesses, and they have been providing essential technical assistance. These community partners were selected to lead this work because of their infrastructure and ability to deploy financial supports and resources to businesses, and because of their strong relationships with and expertise supporting Black, African, Asian, Native, and Latino entrepreneurs, which are being compounded by COVID-19, but it has also supported early recovery of the devastation to the ecosystems in which the businesses exist. This chart provides a breakdown of the types of businesses who have received rebuild funds. Over 1.8 million have already been granted to date. And please keep in mind that these are very much preliminary numbers as we're still getting more data in.
I definitely want to start out with just saying we're creating a culture of gratitude in NDC, and I just can't tell you how grateful we are for all of you and just the opportunity to share our story and what we do. So I'll get right to it. I want to say hello to the NDC team that's joined. This is just me speaking to the great work that you do every day. I appreciate and love you all. NDC was started 27 years ago by a man named Mike Tamale, who some of you may know, and with the help of Bill Sands in the Western Bank building in St. Paul. Been around for 27 years doing this work. We believe that concentrated poverty needs concentrated opportunity. And I'll walk you through the 4 pillars that we use to do the work that we do. The first one being, let me just set the background. NDC focuses primarily on 8 of the lowest income areas in the Twin Cities. We've just recently added Brooklyn Park and Brooklyn Center. Over 80% of those the entrepreneurs that we support are people of color, and over 80% are also the low to lowest income. So what we've done is we do a training. So we have a 12-week training program. As a result of everything that happened, we went online with the training program. I will say to you that we have an opportunity to do to provide different trainings and to provide more technology for our entrepreneurs, because a lot of them are using their phones to try to do the training. But so far we've done about 6,000. We supported about 6,000 entrepreneurs during our time. You then move on to, you have this training, you come out of this training with a business plan, which is wonderful to start your business. You then move into, you need some money to start your business. Now, what am I gonna do now? I need money. So we are a CDFI, a community financial development institution. And that means that we do character-based lending. So it's not about your credit score. It's not about your equity. For the bankers that are on the call, if there are any of you out there, our default rate's around 3%. So I want to paint another story for you. Over the years, NDC's been about $25 million in loans. In this past year, after the COVID and then the uprising, we've done $7.5 million in loans and grants. That's from PPP, state, government, city, county, any money that we could get, because we knew that access to capital and getting the money on the street fast was necessary. And that's another thing that I want to thank you for. Giving us this grant and getting it to us so quickly without all the red tape was such a blessing. I can't express that enough. So you got your training, you got your money, now you need some additional technical assistance to get your business going. We provide that. We do pro bono work with the assistance of legal assistance from Frederickson and Byron, get your POS system set up, anything you need. We've done 77,000 hours of that, of technical assistance. And then you move to incubators. And that's where this lovely picture of Vicki and Manny Gonzalez from Manny's Tortas is. One of our largest incubators is the Midtown Global Market, located just 8 blocks from where George Floyd was murdered. We also have a new incubator space that's under development right as we speak on the corner of University and Dale in St. Paul, where we will have our new training center and incubator space, as well as our Frogtown Square incubator and our Frogtown, another Frogtown incubator in that space. Next slide. So then I'll just go through quickly. These are a couple of the businesses that you've helped. Bole Ethiopian Restaurant, Midtown Eye Care Clinic. They were literally across the street on Lake in Chicago from the Midtown Global Market. And as you can see the pictures on the right, they were completely destroyed. The building was deemed unsafe and had to be demolished. This eye care clinic is vital to the community. The owner is Ahmed Muhammad, and they, him and his partner, Ahmed Segal, they're from Somalia, have been in the US for 20 years. Ahmed has actually held various positions in state and local government. And so then we can go to the next slide. This is their new location, located right inside the global market. We felt like, we had some spaces opening up in the market as a result of everything. And we really wanted to make sure that we partnered with a community-minded organization, service organization, and somebody whose property had been destroyed. And this is now the new site of the Midtown Eye Care Clinic. And we are so happy to have them inside the market.
The strategy for LEDC, with the support, again, from the Greater Twin Cities United Way, Minneapolis Foundation, and St. Paul, was if we're receiving these funds, what would be the best thing that we can do with these? And for us at the time was obviously to support our Latino businesses and other immigrant entrepreneurs access even more resources. Because I know, as we were talking to folks, everybody wanted to support and provide us with funding that we can give to our entrepreneurs or re-grant that to them. But I think we all can agree that the need it's immense. And so I felt that our team needed to utilize these funds to provide a quick assistance to the entrepreneurs, but also at the same time, ensuring that Latino entrepreneurs and business owners are accessing the resources that are available to them. At the time, as you can imagine, LEDC was not prepared to get involved in the Paycheck Protection Program. But after the first preliminary reports and seeing that, as we were hearing, none of our clients, at least in round 1, had received those, I felt that there was a need to get involved in round 2. Again, with the support that we received from you and the unrestricted it allowed us to be able to, allowed me to be able to make those type of quick decisions and saying, we need to dedicate some time in supporting our folks, even if this is not necessarily an area that we have been doing. And I could tell you that, although 15 may seem like a small number, that's 15 Latino businesses that did not receive funding the first time around, that did receive it the second time around. And the amounts were as small as $9,000 for one of the business to about $150,000 for one of the larger businesses, and together the total that they received was about $500,000. Now this is an initiative that we are definitely being more proactive and involved in this year, and our goals would be much higher in supporting more than 15 businesses this time around with PPP. Something else that I'm really proud of is at the time I just felt that it was necessary, but this funding also allowed me to be able to dedicate a staff to time to be able to work with the Small Business Administration to do weekly Spanish only webinars. At the time, I didn't think it was anything that was innovative, but I could tell you that it became really one of the only Spanish webinars in the region. And I'm talking not just Minnesota, but in the region. And at times we would even get folks to call in to our webinars that weren't even in Minnesota. Again, as you can see, there was a lot of damage on Lake Street. We definitely were focusing a lot of our attention on indoor malls like the Plaza Mexico on Lake Street, Mercado Central. There's Plaza del Sol in St. Paul. As you can imagine, the need was significant, and I just wanted to make sure that folks who may not traditionally access these type of funds were connecting with our team, with our staff.
What gives me hope is today and what we're doing here and the partnerships. I just never seen people come together like the day after everything happened at the market, to see people coming with brooms and mops to help clean up, to see you guys coming together the way that you did, responding so quickly. I literally cried when I got the call that we got that money, because it meant that we could do what we needed to do unencumbered. So I feel hopeful that, to RT's point that he put in the chat, that we will all continue to work together and to innovate and to look at things differently and to partner, because when we do that, we can do great things.
What really gave me hope is the generosity of this region. What really showed up was during pandemic and also during civil unrest. The response of this civil unrest, the funding came, and from $5 to $100-something thousand. That shows us how much our people, our region, do care for other people. What really gave me hope is when the neighborhood came out to block the business out to make sure that a small African immigrant are not destroyed. That gave me hope when they sacrificed their life to protect small businesses.
LEDC right now isn't necessarily in the business of saving businesses. I think we're in the business of saving our culture, because it's important for us to understand that if it took 30-some years for me to be able to get a paleta from the corner of Park and Lake, and now my daughter is having the same type of paleta, the same type of ice cream that I grew up having, but it took 30+ years for that to happen here in Minnesota, I can tell you that it's very important for us to continue to invest in these businesses so that our culture, not the Latino culture, but the Minnesotano culture continues, and that all of our kids know what a paleta is, and it doesn't take 30+ years for them to have the first paleta made in Minnesota.